Today, we are talking about the Cumberland River and Tennessee River cruises with American Queen Voyages. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Tuesday Travel Chat. I'm your host, Julia, along with Bob Cook, both from Go Travel. And today we have a special guest, Janelle Valentino from American Queen Voyages. Hi, Janelle. How's it going?
It's going great. Thank you.
Why are we here today? What are we going to learn today?
So today we're going to talk specifically about our Cumberland and Tennessee River product, but a little overview of American Queen Voyages and who we are. We're not just river cruising, although that is what we're known for, our iconic paddle wheels on the river with that 1800 nostalgia steamboat in heyday feel. We've also expanded into lakes and oceans as well as expedition in Alaska.
Amazing. Well, we're going to take a little taste right now with this video.
Today, we're opening up the entire continent to a deeper discovery. From the mighty rivers to the Great Lakes and oceans and expeditions to the wilds of Alaska. Places where tradition comes alive and discovery runs deep. To honor our mission, we're unveiling a new identity built from the most important part of our legacy, the paddle wheel. Deconstructed to create a graphic element symbolizing the journey, moving the elements closer and further apart using nautical data, current, depth, and time to shape-shift the visual language, marking the locations where discovery runs deepest. Where it's cool jazz and hot crawfish fiestas, salty jokes and fishy tales, where they dance the jarana by the light of the moon and you see deep into the wild. Let us sail together to a deeper discovery of North America. American Queen Voyages. Discovery runs deep.
All right. Okay, now that we have a little taste, Bob, tell us, who is this itinerary for?
This itinerary is for people who want to experience a river cruise but don't want to go to Europe, people who want a dose of good American history while in a beautiful, beautiful ship, vessel, boat, whatever, that's going to be sailing on the Tennessee and Cumberland rivers.
Awesome. Well, let's take a look, shall we?
Yeah. So as I was mentioning, just a quick little background of who we are. We are part of the Hornblower parent company. We're the overnight cruise division of Hornblower. And you may be familiar with our parent company with our city experiences, ferry services all throughout the United States and North America. Alcatraz dinner cruises, all of those are our parent company. And so we were acquired by them over the last couple years. So we've merged our two American Queen Steamboat Company and Victory Cruise Line, which was our lakes and oceans, under the one umbrella of American Queen Voyages.
Well, just one thing on that. Yeah. They know their stuff as far as when it comes to the ferries. They are just, you guys are part of the river.
Yes.
You guys are just a how do you call it, Bob? Help me out here.
Freshwater infused blood.
I like that.
They are all about the river and those tours right here in the U.S. So they've got a really strong foundation.
And a lot of you have probably done the dinner cruises in New York or in Boston, Chicago. They're a great experience if you're in those cities.
Yeah.
So, of course, our legacy is river cruising, the iconic paddle wheels. We have then we expanded into lakes and oceans with our merger. We have 2 ocean and lake vessels. Those are 202 passengers, very small and intimate, and those go into the Great Lakes and along the Atlantic coast. And then we've just launched our Alaska expedition, which we had our inaugural season this year, this last summer. And It was really fantastic. We did really well. Great feedback. We're in Alaska now, and those are 12 to 13 nights between Sitka and Vancouver. So very, very different than what's out there
Yes.
right now. And that's us in a nutshell, American Queen Voyages. So where are we today?
Right.
Our fleet now has 7 vessels. We have our 4 paddle wheelers on the top there along the U.S. rivers, our 2 ocean vessels in the Great Lakes and the Atlantic coast, and then our Ocean Victory, which is our brand new build expedition for Alaska. And we do expect to have a second sister ship in 2024 to our expedition.
Impressive.
And while we're right on this slide, which ones go on the Cumberland and Tennessee rivers? I know we'll look at it later, but I just want to know.
Yep. So the ones on the Cumberland and Tennessee are going to be the American Queen, which is our flagship, the American Countess, which is our newest vessel, and American Duchess, which is our most boutique style, smallest vessel.
Fantastic. Okay, great.
So getting into the Cumberland and Tennessee rivers, these are going to be a variety of destinations that will start either in Memphis, Nashville, Chattanooga, St. Louis, or Louisville, and will offer from 9 nights with 7 to 8 ports of call variations, or 13 up to 13 days with 10 different port visitations. So you'll have a different variety within there. But these are the main ports of call that I'll go over now.
Excellent.
So on the Cumberland, we have Nashville, Tennessee. Now we do sail out of Clarksville, which is about 50 minutes from Nashville. We also include a 1-night pre-hotel with all of our products. So we also have our city tours available in Nashville for if you want to spend a little bit more time. We also do the Country Music Hall of Fame. Of course, that's one of the biggest highlights in Nashville. I actually got to do this tour myself, and it was really incredible. So.
Well, and Bob, any comments, because this is when people are flying in, they're arriving in Nashville, maybe you have a couple comments on Nashville, because it's one of these main
Nashville
points.
is the country music home. If you have a particular, like for country music, early 50s music, anything, there's studios that have been established in the 1950s. You can even go to and do a tour. Great barbecue in Nashville. Of course, Memphis will fight with you about that, and so will every city along the river.
Right.
But Nashville does have very good food, great Southern cuisine, lots to do. There's always some live action music show going on every night in Nashville, so you will not be bored. So don't just sit in your hotel room and watch CNN. Get out and explore the city.
Especially if you want to go a couple days early or a couple days late,
Exactly.
depending on where it falls on your itinerary,
Yes.
right?
Definitely.
So something that I just wanted to highlight that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so Clarksville.
Yes. So Clarksville is the actual port of embarkation. So you'll come into Nashville, spend the night there, and then we transport the guests to the port of embarkation in Clarksville, about a 50-minute transfer. And Clarksville is really nice town, and it's known for its distilleries. So although we do have included tours, I personally did a premium shore excursion in Clarksville that took me to a beer, wine, and moonshine distillery.
Okay.
So it was well worth it.
I can figure 2 of those in Tennessee, but the wine sort of threw me off.
Yeah, it was different, but it was actually really great. I ended up buying some wine and shipping it home. So it was very, very lovely.
So we have Clarksville.
Yes, Clarksville. So then we also hit Paducah, Kentucky. This is actually on the Ohio River, but it is one of the stops on this voyage. And she is known for her art scene. And this is just the flood wall murals right at the dock when you come off the boat. Really beautiful art all over the city. It's known for the National Quilt Museum, which I had an opportunity also to experience myself. Didn't know I was that into quilts until I went to the Quilt Museum. Really amazing stuff. It's just incredible what some of the talent in this museum.
The quilts are like museum.
Yeah.
Quilts are paintings.
Yes.
From a distance, even up close.
Yes.
Some of the stitching on them is just
incredible.
Phenomenal. You can't tell. I mean, just look at the birds.
Yes, exactly. You would never know
Incredible.
that was
Yeah.
stitched. Yeah.
Incredible.
And then we go into the lower town arts district area. We see the Lloyd Tilghman House and Civil War Museum. So you also have a lot of Civil War
Yes.
history here as well.
Yeah, I'd say this cruise is probably the one that's the most inclusive of any Civil War history. of
Yes.
everything, including the Ohio River
Yes.
or the Mississippi.
Yes.
This really gets to a lot of famous battlefields that
Yes,
most
it does.
people don't visit
Yes.
because they don't know how to get there.
Yeah, exactly. The Paducah Railroad Museum is
Love
also
trains.
one of our one of our tours. That's included the River Discovery Center, and also the Chitlin Trail tour, which brings you through. This was one of the safe houses during the slave.
The Underground Railroad.
The Underground Railroad, yes. And so it's again really a really interesting piece of American
Mhm.
history.
Really cool.
Mhm. Then we get into Dover, Tennessee, and this is probably going to be the most intensive for the Civil War. This is where we had the Fort Donaldson River
Yes.
batteries. I got to see this again, something I never thought that I would go seek out on my own and see, and
Right.
having the opportunity to experience this. It's really incredible to see it and to realize, war actually happened here.
Wow.
We visit the Stewart County Visitor Center as well. And then we have just some historical museums, the W.D. Sykes Museum here, Fort Donaldson National Cemetery as
Yeah.
well. And then the Surrender House at the Dover Hotel, which I thought was really, really cool, where one of the biggest surrenders in the Civil War that
Mhm.
changed the course of the Civil War
Yes.
took place.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, Bob, I want to ask you a
Yes.
comment. For somebody who loves the Civil War,
Yes.
what do you think as far as this type of journey?
Well, this is probably almost as impressive as Gettysburg,
Okay.
where most people visit. This is when you get to this location and when they're talking about the Civil War that went on there, and I think it was Grant who took the surrender, I believe,
Yes.
from the South, from that part of the South that surrendered before
Mhm.
Appomattox. I just think that it really makes you like, wow, this is so real. Yeah, I read about it in college, or I read about it in high
Right.
school, or I saw the books, but this brings it real. They're still bringing up pieces of bodies. I hate to say,
Yeah.
bullets, musketry are still being discovered. What, 160 years after the Civil War was
Yeah.
over?
Mhm.
They're still finding.
History is still
Yes,
in the
history's
making
still
as far
coming
as
out. Yeah.
they're still finding all those things and
Yes.
discovering things. You
Yes.
don't need to go to Egypt to
Right.
dig up the
No.
tombs.
Exactly.
There's a lot of history
Right.
right here.
Yes.
we have our pyramids, and
Yes.
they're mostly in locations like this.
Mhm. Exactly.
Incredible. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So moving forward,
Yes.
with that.
So those are the ports that you're going to see on the Cumberland River, and then on the Tennessee, we get into Chattanooga,
Mhm.
where we visit the Chattanooga City Tour Choo Choo.
Chattanooga Choo Choo, 1940s, great song.
Yeah. We also do offer a city tour package that includes Point Park as
Mhm.
well. And then we get into Decatur, Alabama.
Now, when we get down into Alabama and
Mhm.
Decatur, don't we also have a lot of African American history that's also followed by your groups
Yes.
and your guides?
Yes, we
on,
do.
on land.
Absolutely, we do. Yes. We visit the old State Bank building, the historic railroad depot, Morgan County Archives, Princess Theater.
Every town in the South has a Princess Theater. It could be called something else, but it's a Princess, the Athenaeum, the Athens, whatever.
Yeah.
But this has been very beautifully restored.
Yes. Yes, it has. Carnegie Visual Arts Center.
Do you know why it's Carnegie Visual Center?
No, I don't.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay,
Why is
here we
that
go with
story?
my little tidbits. Andrew Carnegie, who founded U.S. Steel,
Mhm.
built 20,000 libraries across the United States. That's what
Wow.
he gave to cities. And that was what the original library building for Chattanooga.
That's very interesting.
Carnegie.
I learned something new today.
We are learning things.
Then we also visit the Alabama Air and Space, which is the Origins of NASA tour. So that's really
It's been a
cool.
while since I've seen a shuttle there.
I know.
Right. We have Florence, Alabama as well.
Which is very important for the civil rights movement also.
Yes, exactly. We visit the Tourism and Visitor Center, Poppy's Tavern and Museum as well, the Kennedy Douglas Center for the Arts, Frank Lloyd Wright Rosenbaum House. He's known for his architectural influence in the United States. And the Florence Indian Mound and Museum as well.
Just imagine if you were trying to do a road trip and fit all this stuff.
Right.
in.
Yeah.
This is you're really getting through so much American history on this.
And you may go on a tour that says, God, I never knew how interested I was in a particular piece of history.
Yes.
And they brought it out. I mean, that's how a lot of my love of history came about, by doing tours and saying, oh, I want to do a little more research about it. And then I became a fanatic about things.
That's exactly what happened to me when I got to experience these places. Everything flooded, and I was so interested in learning more.
And okay, speaking of that, I went as a child. How inclusive are your trips for families with children?
So we are family friendly. We just don't have any children's programs or cater to children. But I think you're seeing a lot more children that want to be immersed in the history and the education, and it's that family experience. So we do see some multi-generation on our vessels.
Wonderful.
That's great. If you want that, your kids can come and they'll have a nice time.
Exactly. Yes.
And they'll be fascinated if they're on the American Queen, especially just sitting in the back watching the paddle wheel turn and the steam engine.
That was what fascinated me the most. I just sat there, watched the paddle wheel. It's so peaceful, peaceful on the river.
Very serene.
Very, very. Then we have our Sweet Home Alabama tour as well. And then we get into Savannah, Tennessee.
Yes, not Savannah.
Not Georgia. Where we see the Tennessee River Museum, Williams Shutt House, Savannah Historic District as well. And all of these tours that I'm going over are included with our hop on, hop off motor coach tour. So these are all included, and the motor coaches are owned and operated by American Queen. So they follow along the river with the boat as we go.
So if you leave something on it the day before, you can pick it up the next day.
Exactly.
I left my sweater on the bus. It'll be there tomorrow.
Cherry Mansion, Shiloh National Military Park.
Yes. The Battle of Shiloh.
Yes.
Very, very famous.
Yes. So that's the itinerary. Those are the itineraries. And again, it's a variation of those ports. It won't always be exactly in that order.
And at the end, we're going to give you a few examples of itineraries and everything. But now let's talk about the vessels. And then we're going to talk about what you do get on board, because I know we've touched a little bit on the service.
Yes.
But yeah, let's see which vessels we can take these.
All right. So on the Cumberland and Tennessee rivers, we have our American Queen, which is our flagship and the largest steam-powered paddle wheel in the world. She's going to be our largest at 417 passengers. So you can tell already our largest is still very small and intimate. She is, as I mentioned, she's the only steam-powered overnight paddle wheel in the world. So she will have also a authentic calliope on board as well, which is always fun.
And one thing about that, when you're traveling under a bridge that may be too high, the funnels come down and the wheelhouse goes down as you go under the bridge. Mostly on the Mississippi. Mostly on the Mississippi, because I know how. Because I sat and watched that. I probably have 40 pictures of it doing it 40 times along the river.
Okay.
Bob loves his trains. I love his steamboats.
I like anything that I'm not home.
Yeah, right. I hear that.
Okay, that's American Queen.
That's the American Queen.
All right.
Okay, then we have also the American Duchess. She is our most boutique, intimate size with 166 guests. She really has a luxury feel to her. We do have 2-story loft suites on this vessel, and it's just very beautiful. Of course, it has the authentic riverboat on the decor on the outside, and then a much more modern feel on the inside. And then last but not least, we have our American Countess. She's our newest paddle wheeler in the fleet with 245 guests. And she also has more of a modern contemporary feel to her versus our American Queen, which has the Victorian opulence of the 1800s to give you that nostalgia of the river cruising.
These are gingerbread outside, contemporary
Exactly.
inside.
Yes.
Well, now we've gotten to see the vessels and we're
Yes.
going to talk about the service and some of the inclusions. But if you are getting interested at all, just remember, visit us at gotravel.com and we will connect you with a specialist to help
Yes.
you. They're going to always be looking out for the very best deals for you. They've got Janelle on speed dial and they'll make sure to find the right itinerary for you and any of the pre and post. Okay.
Exactly.
Let's see what else we can learn here from Janelle.
So the experience, we are an all-inclusive product, and this is going to be applicable to our rivers, lakes, and oceans, and expedition as well. All of these are included with all of our voyages. Every voyage is going to include a pre-night cruise hotel stay at the port of embarkation. We also have masterful cuisine. So it's regionally inspired by the destinations we visit. We have a main dining room and alternative dining at no additional cost. So that's all included. No additional upcharges for steaks or lobsters or anything like that. Everything is going to be included there, as well as room service 24 hours a day. Our gourmet selections, we offer USDA prime beef every evening. We also have some lobster, cold water lobster options every evening if you want something alternative. Yes, again, no additional charges for that. And we can also accommodate any dietary restrictions, gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan.
Speaking of not about food, but about special needs, how about accessibility?
So that's a really great question. Accessibility. On our rivers, we are 100% accessible friendly. ADA accessible staterooms. We like to be very transparent to make sure that we're not putting anyone somewhere that they can't enjoy. So our lakes and ocean vessel and our expedition is those are not going to be as accessible friendly. Right. So if you can, still step over a lip here and there, especially with expedition, it's getting in and out of the zodiacs.
Yes, of course.
So you need to be a little, more mobile for that. So it may not be the right product on lakes and oceans and expedition for true accessible needs. So
but for river, it's perfect.
For river, it's absolutely perfect. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. So all-inclusive also means unlimited beverages. And with a lot of river cruising, you'll get beer and wine with lunch or dinner. We include beer, wine, and spirits throughout the entire voyage, and any soft drinks, tea, soda, coffee, anything like that. So that's
amazing. There's no limitation
There's no limitation. So that's going to set us apart from some of the other river products out there as well. We also have unlimited Wi-Fi included.
Excellent.
Yeah. So,
Julia.
There's always issues with Wi-Fi on any vessel, but I think being in North America, you're close to your service provider anyway. So you usually can still use your data. So that's a plus too. Yeah. You can stay connected no matter what.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We also offer live entertainment. So the American Queen does have a full stage theater and live production. Also kind of sets us apart from some of the other river cruise lines. You don't really get these cabaret not Broadway, but these production shows that we offer. So, and then on the other products or the smaller vessels, we'll have 3-piece bands and a lot of local talent to come on as well. And then we have our enrichment and education, of course. So we have on the rivers, our River Lorian, our Mark Twain impersonator, and then our Civil War battlefield reenactors as well. So just lots of enrichment and education in all the different destinations we go to.
So for example, for the Cumberland, can we expect that Civil War person to be on board?
Yes.
You don't have to be on one particular special sailing.
Exactly.
He's always there.
Exactly. So that's
great.
Yeah. So that's something that we're always going to offer.
And you'd swear when Mark Twain is talking that you're speaking
to Mark Twain. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's really cool. We also offer unlimited guided tours. So just like the tours that I went over, those are all included in our hop on, hop off bus. And this is just an example of what this is on the Mississippi, but this is an example of what we give our guests every day in each port of call. So they'll get.
You give them paper?
Yes, it's a large piece of paper.
They still get paper. I'm sorry, I'm still old school. I need the paper when I need
I love it.
a map. That's awesome.
And it's huge, and you could just go down to the purser's desk and get another one if you lose yours, but we'll put it in your stateroom the night before for the next port. And then so these are going to show you all of the different included attractions in the destination. So you can get on our bus and go along with that. But what's great about the hop on, hop off is it runs in 20-minute loops. So you're not on a schedule. You don't have to, see this, get back on the bus in 20 minutes. You really can go at your leisure. You can skip destinations. You can spend more time or less time at one attraction. And then we'll also include entry into any museums.
Is that hop on, hop off yours exclusively?
Yes, it is. It's owned and operated by us.
That really gives some benefit there
Yes.
because it's all intertwined.
Yes.
If you're on the bus, they're not leaving without you. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Yeah. And then we offer our pilot house tours, which I think is really cool in this day and age with our larger vessels and, COVID health protocols. You don't really get to do bridge tours anymore or behind the scenes. But because we're, still so small and intimate, we offer pilot house tours with our captain. Every day, guests just have to sign their name on a piece of paper at the purser's desk and they get to go. There's no one's denied. There's no waiting or anything like that. So
excellent.
Yeah. So those are all of our inclusions.
Awesome. So let's talk about if you're thinking about it. I mean, right now already, I love that they've got the Wi-Fi, even though, you have your cell data, but Wi-Fi, you've got your paper map, you've got the hop on, hop off, you have all your drinks included. These are just some standout things, but and you get so many different points of interest along the way that you would never get to really see.
They're the things that would, if you did not have them included, would cost you an extra $600 to $700 a person.
Absolutely.
Even if with 2 drinks of wine, but the tours alone
are
well worth it.
Yes.
And are gratuities included?
That is the one thing that we don't include are gratuities, but they can be pre-purchased or purchased on board. I always recommend pre-purchasing them just to get them out of the way. And they're distributed amongst all of our staff on board, as well as our motor coach drivers too. So they do receive gratuities. And once the gratuities are paid, nothing additional is expected unless, you feel the need to, but truly not expected and does get distributed.
So for your hop on, hop off, you don't have to feel like you're constantly having to bring all the extra cash because you know that they're taken care of when you've done your unless you want to do something extra.
And
you can feel good
that they're taken care of.
That is excellent. So let's take a look though at if you want to go now, you want to get this booked. We also have an extra special at the end, but let's take a look at some dates and some options for you if you're thinking about this.
Okay. So a couple dates to think about. Again, we have a lot of different variations of the itineraries that we went over. So these are just a handful. We have Nashville to Louisville, which is 9 days on the American Countess, May 15th of 2023. Prices from $24.99 per person.
That's $275 a day, people, with all your drinks, your meal, your Wi-Fi, hotel rooms, and guided tours.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And then we have our Nashville to Memphis, also 9 days on the American Queen, July 2nd, 2023. So that's a nice cruise because it'll fall over the 4th of July. So lots of American heritage and history there. That'll be fun. That's starting from $25.99 per person. We have a Louisville to Nashville 9 day on our American Duchess, July 29th, starting from $27.99 per person. And then we have our little bit longer sailings, Memphis to Chattanooga, 13 day on the American Countess, October 9th of 23. And that's going to start at $38.99 per person.
Excellent. So that just gives you a little bit of a glimpse if you're kind of ready to book. We just handpicked a few of these that we thought looked nice based on the theme today, but there's a variety of dates available. Just call your travel advisor and we'll help you look into that. Okay, what else we've got here?
All right. So just very quickly, some of the other places that we touch on the river. So of course, the lower Mississippi and our upper Mississippi. This is the bread and butter of what we get the most requests from. But I think that's because most people just aren't familiar with what else is out there.
Exactly.
So that's why we're here today, to tell you about it. We're also on the Ohio River, and we do the Pacific Northwest, which is very, very picturesque, really beautiful itinerary. That's Spokane to Portland, Oregon, or the reverse. And that's going to take you through all of the locks along the way there. And again, just really beautiful, picturesque, scenic itinerary. And doing this itinerary exclusively is our American Empress. And so she's the largest paddle wheel west of the Mississippi with 223 guests. And she has a bit of a gold rush era decor to her to go with the Lewis and Clark expedition.
Oh, that's cool.
Nostalgia. Yeah.
What is the seasonality for that? When don't you sail?
We won't be there in the cold months. So January, February, we pull out for a little bit. Yeah. And again, I just some key features of our river cruising. Really, convenience is what it's all about, in my opinion. Easy to drive to these embarkation ports, or their short flights.
Yes.
Local currency and English speaking, so you don't have to worry about conversions or translating. And then close proximity to U.S. healthcare is number one on my list, and no passports for our river product either.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so Janelle, I know that you brought something extra special for our Go Travel clients today, a little limited time offer. So let's take a look at that.
Absolutely. So we are offering exclusive to Go Travel between October 25th and November 25th. So for a 1 month booking window on new reservations, we'll give you $100 per person onboard credit. And that's going to be valid for any voyage on our rivers, lakes, and oceans, or expedition as well. And of course, you do have to book through your Go Travel advisor to receive that.
This is very exciting. Now, what is an example of something you can use that for? Because there's so many inclusions already.
So we do offer premium excursions at an additional cost. You can always upgrade your excursions. You can use it to purchase a post transfer to the airport, or a tour, also a post tour if you want to do a transfer and a tour. And then any of our gift shops, of course, on board. And if you want to upgrade your drinks, if there's a special wine or upgraded spirit that you want to indulge in, you can use it towards that as well.
It's $100 you can find something for sure.
You will find something to purchase. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well, this is awesome. So don't forget, call your travel advisor, go to gotravel.com if you need to get connected with one of them, or call your existing Go Travel advisor. But thank you so much, Janelle. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
So exciting to learn today about the Cumberland and Tennessee rivers. Remember, we will see you right here next Tuesday. Until then, bye.
Bye.
Bye.